Hey traders, John Howell here. In today's video, I'm going to be giving a bit more update on what the mining stocks are doing right now, and also silver's actually been getting crushed today as well too. Now, I actually mentioned that in the last few videos that I've done that we're expecting a lot more downside to come, especially in silver. And I actually got laughed at. For you guys that have been around me for the last few weeks, watching me for the last few weeks, I've been saying get ready for a pullback again in the markets. We're probably going to continue this downward trend, and people laughed at me so much. So I just hope you guys didn't go against the stuff that the market was telling you, because right now the market's getting, or the miners and the metals are getting killed. And I'll just give you a bit of an update on that. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into it. Now guys, a lot of people have been asking me, how do I actually personally trade the markets? Like, what sort of systems do I use? Because I always talk about how I have an investing approach, and I also have a trading approach. People say, John, what sort of strategies do you use? So what I'm doing right now is I'm running a live webinar, a live training today, and today only. And I'm going to reveal all the details to my #1 trading strategy that gets a really high percent success rate. I'm going to talk to you about the one thing that I actually did to go from $250,000 debt to a full-time trader. And a few other sneaky little things, that how I add automation to be able to trade just an hour per day, and so much more. So if you go to John's free training, or there should be a link in the description, go join that today, guys. You're going to be able to see everything. If you're struggling in your trading right now, then you'll be able to see what you need to do. And if you're interested in learning how I personally trade the markets, what strategies I use, what sort of automations tools I use, and so on and so forth, then make sure you go to John's free training, or there should be a link in the description there. Let's actually get on to silver first, because if you look at silver right now is absolutely getting killed. And for the last, ever since we're getting this pullback, I was seeing this pullback here last few weeks. And when I started to see this pullback here, right? So I started to see this pullback here, this nice pullback, I'll say, you know what, guys, I actually think we're likely to start to get some downward movement. And the really interesting thing is, like, so many people saying, oh, John, you're always wrong. That's it. I'm going to be buying call options on silver and buying call options on gold, because you have no idea, and right? Like, people just, man, people gave me hell when I started saying, you know what, guys, on a short-term basis, this is not long-term, but on a short-term basis, silver and gold and the mining stocks are likely to continue to have that downward swing and that downward pressure in the market. And guys, that's exactly what's happened. And the really interesting thing is those people, they'll right? Like that's all I hear when I hear that You know, I'm gonna buy it. Those people, they may have actually bought call options just to go against what I said, and they've actually disappeared. Where are they now? Those little bumblebees. And the reason why I call them bumblebees, guys, because I become a bumblebee sometimes too. That's not being offensive. Bumblebee just simply means you're buzzing around, trading everything and anything, and hope, guess, fear. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no strategy. There's no approach to the trading, right? You're being a bumblebee all over the place. That's what a bumblebee is. And guys, I become a bumblebee every now and then as well too, right? Every now and then I might get my ego involved, and I'm like, I'm the shit because I've just had 10 profitable winning trades in a row, or I've just had a massive, 1,000% profit on an option trade. I'm the shit, so I become a bumblebee for a few weeks, right? And then I might give 25% of that profit away. It doesn't happen that often, but even I become a bumblebee. All I'm saying is, don't become a bumblebee. A bumblebee is all over the place, Just be nice and relaxed and have a systematic approach. And so when I was talking about this, I'm expecting more downside to come. Look what's been happening ever since I've been saying, get ready for more downside to come. We've been getting a rally to the downside, and we're getting another nice break to the downside here. So guys, I'm expecting more downside to come out of silver. I don't believe this is the end. I think this is the beginning of a much bigger pullback. And I actually see this thing getting down towards 22 now. Now we may not go there straight away, because there is a good probability we could do something like this, right, and then go down, right? As you know, rally down, pull back, rally down. We might get a pullback here for a bit and then rally back down again. But I actually have a target of around 22, which is this previous low here, around 22 on silver now. So I wouldn't be too surprised if silver's now on its way down to 22. And it's just reading the markets, guys, just reading the markets, reading the charts. And if we have a look at gold, look what gold's doing. And the really interesting thing with gold, if my software loads up, ta-da, there you go, right? Look what happened with gold today. Really big sort of, pretty weird sort of reversal pattern, right? So we actually did get a rejection back down to this level here. But look at this reversal bar. I wouldn't say it's a reversal yet, but we had a rally down, came up and closed high. The really interesting is if you go look at the GOD, look where the GOD closed, right on its low. Now, these are two major support levels here, but look what happened with the GOD. We actually came and closed right on that low. So pretty strong sort of selling pressure coming into the GOD, but looks like if I go to my gold chart, look at the last hour. Oh, there you go. So as soon as the market closed, the last sort of hour, we've actually been getting a strong, look at that there, last sort of 15 minutes as we're doing this recording, we're getting a very strong rally out of this here. So it's going to be really interesting, guys, to see whether this is going to hold, but the trend is still down. And the line in the sand for the trend not being down, the trend is your friend until the end. And as you can see, we're in a lower high, rally down, lower high, and now we're rallying back down again. The line in the sand is around about that 1760 level. If we can hold here and start to get back above it, then the downward trend is no longer intact. So that could either mean two things, which is always hard on a short-term basis. That could mean we're going to go back into a sideways phase, or we're going to start to see something like that, like a bull market move in that. So we can see that that's what's happening with gold, and same for all the miners as well too. I've been very as we got this rally here, oh my goodness, man, people just gave me so much flack. I'm just like, guys, it's not me. I'm just telling you what the market's telling me right now, right? Again, lower high, rally, down, lower high, or rally, lower high, down, rally, lower high, down. As you can see, right, I'm just going with what the market was telling me, which is just a downward trend. And every time I got a rally here, everyone's like, oh, especially around this area through here, I started doing videos like, oh, guys, I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually started getting a bit of a drop here, and then bam, look what happened. Right? We actually had a free fall today. Almost 5% drop in the GDXJ today. And the market's falling off, and now we're actually broken below this low here. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a bit more continuation actually happening here when it comes to the GDXJ, guys. But just flow with the market. Now, guys, the line in the sand for this downward trend to end is, when do you think that is? It is when in a downward trend, we make these lower highs, and now lower highs, right? So that's in a downward trend. So for the line in the sand for the trend, the sellers are no longer continue to lower their prices, continue to drop this market, is probably above that, just above that 50. That's that lower high, right? Because if they break this here, guess what? We're no longer making lower highs, and then we could start to get into a trend like that. But until that happens, we can still get another rally and still be in a downward trend. So don't fight this market yet, guys. If you're a short-term approach or a short-term trader, again, like on my webinar that I'm going to be running today, you'll be able to see that I have a short-term approach as well too. Now, investing, guys, this is probably a really good time to buy for an investing opportunities, right? Because you're buying now and you're holding for 3, 4, 5 years, right? Because why? Because I'm I'm actually bullish long-term, right? I have long-term positions in the GDXJ. It's like, here we go, right? Because I just never know what's going to happen. But man, over the next couple of years, I see one of the greatest bull markets we've ever seen in the miners and metals is going to happen. I just don't know when that's going to happen. But on a short-term basis, guys, it's unlike Donkey Kong for the downside. It's like people say, oh, John, you say Donkey Kong. How could I watch this guy who's professional on Donkey Kong? Really? All right, then. I'm a Donkey Kong then. So we're getting a bit of a pullback here on the GDX here. On the SIL, same sort of thing, guys. Same sort of thing. As I said before, that when we got this rally up here, I'm like, you know what, guys? I'm not too buying this here. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback out of here. And that's exactly what we've gotten so far out of this. Now, there's a lot of support actually just below here. As you can see, like right there. A lot of support levels here. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually did start to break that. But again, we really need to start to see a break below here. But once again, guys, a lot of people laughed at me when I said we're likely to get a move down through here. And then also on the SIL, which is actually even more weaker. Once again, when we had this rally here, I'm just like, you know what, guys? I'm not buying this rally. It may be that, but I'm just going to go with what the market's telling me. And the market was telling me we had a move down from here, little high. We had a sort of an equal high, then we rallied down, rallied up. This sort of was like a lower high, major lower high from here. I'm like, we could be getting ready for another lower high here. And then boom, away we go again, right? And now we're actually breaking below this support level here. So really, really, really interesting stuff. So I wouldn't be too surprised, guys, if we actually continued down for a little bit longer to actually see this here. And we just need to focus on it one day at a time on a short-term basis. But we are continuing to see these weakness in the markets. So it's happening right now, where the gold and silver are looking quite weak in the market. So guys, don't be fighting the markets, and just go with it, especially on a short-term basis, and just make sure you have some sort of a strategy approach. Don't be a bumblebee, right? Bumblebee is like, well, I'm going to buy it right now because I think it's going to be the bottom. That's a bumblebee. A professional, again, like on my webinar that I'm running, link in the description, a professional says, okay, then yes, the market's going to go up, the market's going to go down, the market's going to do its thing, but I'm only going to enter the market when I get my approach, when I get my system, my strategy into the market. And that's always the hardest thing about trading. The hardest thing about trading is always wanting to be involved with the markets, because if you're not trading, you're not making money, right? But the ironic, the weird thing about that is that when we do trade, and we are trading a lot, guess what happens? We lose money. So it's really weird, right? So we think, okay, I'm not trading, I'm not making money, I want to trade to make money. So you start to trade, then you lose money. And why is that? Because when you do trade, you're trading based on I think this is a good idea, or I hope this is a good idea, or or I'm fearful of missing out. And that's the reason why most people do bad in the markets. That's why less and more. Everything is opposite to the markets. If everyone is talking about something, that's probably going to be the top. If everyone is fearful of the market, that's probably going to be the bottom. If everyone is getting involved with something, then you probably don't want to be getting involved with that just yet, because it's already been done and gone. So I hope this helped you out today, guys. Once again, make sure you join me on my webinar today. You're going to absolutely love it. I'm going to walk you through everything. And again, all my automation tools, how I find my amazing setups, again, within half an hour per day, and so much more. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Make sure you leave a comment below, and I'll speak to you guys real soon.